Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. Welcome back to my playthrough of LA Noire. We're continuing from where we left off here. We're going to be doing the final Vice case. I'm sorry I haven't had a part out in a week. I was just working on that GTA lore video, and I wanted to wrap up Watch Dogs, but now that Watch Dogs is finished, I can actually put out more parts of LA Noire more frequently. We're actually pretty close to the end of the game too. Arson is not a very long chapter, I know that too. But anyways, let's do it here.
Earl Phelps, a shooting at the 111 Club, 6232 Hollywood Boulevard.
Sounds like a homicide beef.
Two of the dead guys caught in the crossfire were carrying Army surplus morphine. Get over there before homicide tramples all over the place.
We already cleared that up.
Judge in Pasadena took the big sleep yesterday. He had a personal stash of 20 cigarettes. Appears we didn't get all of it.
I understand you, but thousands
And,
off me at the grand jury.
This is actually true that that certain police units actually could come in contact with other ones. Usually they're cooperative, but it depends on the situation. But the most annoying thing about
even you, Phelps.
the most annoying thing about police investigations is when you have different units is basically trying to claim jurisdiction. If you remember in South Park actually made fun of it. There was actually an episode a long time ago on South Park, and it was like that episode where I think like Hillary Clinton was coming to South Park, and then there was like this Russian plot to like, you know, go after her, and what happened was what South Park was making fun of
but I had to
was
pay admission.
I think it was like the local police wanted to take over, and then the FBI came in and said, no, this is our jurisdiction. And then it was like, after the FBI, I think it was like the Secret Service, and then after the Secret Service, it was like the CIA, and it was like, kept going and going and going, and they're like, this is our jurisdiction, this is our jurisdiction, and it was like 5 different police units, and that's basically what South Park was making fun of, that all of these different units that are constantly trying to claim jurisdiction over something, when they should just be cooperating and working together to actually solve the case. Let's take this car this time here. Have I driven this car before? No, I have not. Okay. And also, guys, let me know if my mic is a little better in this part. I think it should be, because I know that my mic has been, like, getting, like, a small, like, half-a-second delay sometimes, and sometimes my mic hasn't been picking up certain words, but that's because of the noise cancellation software that I had, because I didn't want, like, you know, background noise getting caught. But let me know if the mic's better on this part, if you can hear me clearly, and just let me know in the comments.
There's a change in the wind.
About time.
This wind will be like a tornado, Phelps. Parker's got a puritanical streak. You never know we'll get swept up in a thing like that.
Okay, the club. Let's take a look, see what's going on right
guys
here.
are already inside. Bukowski.
Phelps, back again.
We're here about the morphine.
Over by the bandstand. You can see what's left of the owner, Eddie McGoldrick, 26, former Marine.
I know Eddie McGoldrick. He was a non-com in my old unit.
I'm sorry to hear that, Cole. Waitress said he recently came into some money and bought the club.
Who are the other Vics?
2 musicians, Biddleston and Bow. And get this, they used to be in a 4-piece, but the trombone player and the drummer OD'd.
Don't tell me. Lamont and Tyree? We've met the rest of the band.
Now they're a no-piece.
Do you mind if we take a look around?
Be my guest.
Man, I wish I could have just punched Roy in the
I'll keep her
face.
company until
Right
you're ready.
there. Let me see. Do I have music disabled? Oh, I do. Okay. Turn it on here. And also, you're wondering how he bought the club. He bought it with drug money. But back then, the government would not actually check where you got a lot of your money from. So you could go to like a car dealership and buy a really expensive car of cash. Nobody would basically check where you got that money from. It wouldn't pop up. But now today, the IRS is basically a system where I think if you spend $10,000 or more on a single transaction, so if you just spend more than $10,000 on something, it gets reported to the IRS. I think it's $10,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you spend I think it's like 10,000, it's like a certain limit. If you spend it, it says all 50 states federally, they have to report it to the IRS. So the IRS basically knows. So that's basically a way for them to track also, I guess dirty money. But at the same time is, even though there might be good intentions behind it, the IRS specifically, they go after a lot of people for really dumb things. Okay.
They didn't even try to crack the safe.
Yeah, this is strange. The safe is partially open, but the money's there. The gun's there too.
Bad luck, Eddie. Okinawa couldn't kill you, but knowing the wrong people in this city.
Imagine that, like, surviving the Pacific War, surviving Okinawa, one of the worst battles in U.S. history, and dying like this right now when you come back from the war. He's got nothing on him. And also, if you're wondering, why did the police not close the people's eyes when they find the body? You see that in a lot of movies when people die, they close their eyes. Why don't they do that? Why the police in real life actually don't really close the eyes on dead people when they find them. The reason for that is because it's actually technically tampering with the crime scene. Because the thing is, a person's eyes could actually indicate something. I know that there are specific, doctors that can actually tell, even if a person was scared just by looking at their eyes right when they died. And also, their eyes, you can also a lot of times tell if they were on some kind of drugs beforehand. So they're not going to close their eyes until typically the funeral. That's when it's going to happen.
Must have pumped a dozen rounds into him. Certainly sends a message.
It looks like Bukowski is stuck there. Okay. Yeah, this place got shut up to hell.
Just when I think I've seen it all.
Also, there's one thing that I'm finding strange about this crime scene, is you're not finding any casings. The amount of bullets that happen, there's no casings that have been found. But I think that that's just because they're probably not going to put that in the game because you'd have to pick up so many casings. But in reality, there would be so many casings, unless it was a revolver. If a revolver, you're not going to find casings. Because a revolver, you got to manually eject the rounds, or eject the casings, I should say. I'm not gonna talk to her till I find some more stuff. What? Bottles are shut up too. And also, bullets will actually go through a lot of objects that you would not expect them to go through. And if this is a 45, 45 is a pretty strong round. If this was from a Tommy gun... Oh, wait, there's a hat here. Maybe that's evidence? No, it's not. But you ever see that in the movies when, they just kick over tables and they get behind tables and cover? No, no, no. Most of the time, it's gonna go through it. Oh.
Do we have
There
a
we
new
go.
source, or is this coming from what's left in circulation?
Cigarettes?
Dozen packs to a carton, 100 cartons or more. Looks like a couple of months' supply.
This is worth a lot of money, that. Also, the Mafia back in the day, they would actually... Oh, here we go.
Army surplus again. McGoldrick must have been moving contraband through the club.
This was stolen from the army, too. The army would provide a lot of, you know, cigarettes, you know, chocolate bars, you know, things that soldiers typically wanted during the war, because the thing about that is, one important thing about, especially during combat, is you want to keep soldiers happy. You know, they're in a war zone, but, you know, if you can have them occasionally, you know, bring them some cigarettes, you know, bring them things like chocolate, you know, some small luxuries. Maybe it's not a lot, but it does help, greatly boosting their morale. Also, not advocating smoking, but I'm just saying is that most people back then smoked. And so, this is a BAR.
These look brand new. Never fired. They haven't been degreased yet. We could check on the serial numbers.
Is this guy hunting for bear? Look at these things.
They're BARs.
Yep.
You get the
BAR.
odd guy who sneaks one of them home from the war. How did he get 3 of them?
And also, it was actually
Army surplus morphine, Army surplus weapons, Army surplus valors. Sound familiar?
We should get back to the station and check the details of what exactly was lifted from that ship.
A lot of times soldiers would actually bring back weapons from the war. It was very common. If soldiers brought home, like, their service weapon, typically, they wouldn't, I guess they would still look for it, but they wouldn't check it as much. And sometimes officers and other, you know, military officials would look the other way, because it was just their service weapon, it was just their personal gun, and they might just want to bring it home. But a lot of times, what soldiers got away with the most was actually taking home weapons. So, that's actually, a lot of the surplus guns in America, if you ever go into a gun store, and you see, like, in the gun store, you see, like, plenty of World War II guns. You'll see, like, you know, a Kar 98, you will see, like, an Arisaka. Arisakas are very common, that's a Japanese rifle. You will see, you know, Lugers. You know, you'll see Walter P-38s, which are German handguns. A lot of those guns were basically brought home as, like, souvenirs by, like, soldiers from the war who liked to collect them, and then what ended up happening was, you know, decades later up until today, maybe, like, a family member came across them, didn't want them anymore, and just took them to a pawn shop and sold them. So that's why a lot of times in American, like, you know, gun stores, you will see, like, a lot of World War II guns, because a lot of soldiers brought them home from the war, and then people ended up selling them.
Well maintained.
Another
Must be
day,
the case.
another
Someone
dollar.
cared for this instrument.
This place was shut up really bad. Okay, what am I missing here? Looks like Bukowski is still stuck.
Just when I think I've seen it all.
What am I not looking for here? And about the BAR, about the BAR is one of the greatest, you know, rifles ever made. You know, some people call it an assault rifle, but technically not. Technically, it's a machine gun, because an assault rifle fires an intermediate cartridge. But the BAR, and it was first created near the end of World War I. It was a 20-round, semi-automatic and automatic rifle. I'm pretty sure it had a semi-automatic function. But the nice thing about the BAR is this was a gun that you could provide automatic fire with, and one soldier could carry it and shoot it. You didn't need, like, a team of people to set up a machine gun. That's what made the BAR such a great and effective rifle.
We can try again.
And it wasn't an extremely heavy rifle. I mean, it was heavy, but compared to a lot of other machine guns at that time, it was much lighter weight. And the BAR fires a 30-06, which is actually the same cartridge that the M1 Garand fires, and the Springfield 1903. And the BAR, the only difference between the World War I and the World War II BAR, correct me if I'm wrong on this, the World War II version had a slow rate of fire. And you're probably wondering, why would they slow down the rate of fire? The reason is so that the gun could be easier to control, because it only has a 20-round, box magazine. So if, you spray that thing, it's going to go out really quickly. But if it's a little bit slower, it's going to be a little easier to control, a little bit less recoil, and going to be easier for the soldier to hit what he's aiming at. So just because a gun fires faster doesn't always mean that it's deadlier. A lot of people think that. Okay, I'm missing something. What am I missing? I don't like to watch YouTube videos, by the way, guys, on, like, these cases. I like to find everything on my own, and I like to, figure out the questions on my own. So that's just why I'm taking my time really with this. Because I think it's boring if you already know where everything is. I beat this game a long time ago. This case I do remember, but I don't remember where everything is, and I don't remember all the questions that you have to answer, the right things. But I'll figure it out in a moment. Just give me a little bit, and I will figure out basically what I have to find. If I take too long, I might just skip forward to when I find it, but... Yeah, this crime scene is a lot harder than the other ones to try to figure out basically what we're looking for here. The music hasn't stopped playing, so there's still something that I'm missing in this place.
Another day, another dollar.
And that woman that I have to talk to, she might lie to me on something, so I want to be sure that I collect all the evidence first. This guy was definitely shocked and surprised that he died. Or I should say that he was getting attacked. What am I missing? I think maybe those matches that I was looking at earlier. Where did I find those matches?
You catch all the good ones, Phelps.
Nothing. This is an expensive jacket, by the way. Yeah, okay, I'm missing something. What could I be missing?
Another day, another dollar.
What's that click?
Something's here. Yep.
Neat trick. The case must have cost more than the trumpet. He kept his stash close at hand.
Blue room ticket.
Find
Follow
anything
up on the
interesting?
musician angle.
Got it. That's everything. Okay. Let's talk to her now.
Ma'am, I'm Detective Phelps, Administrative Vice Squad.
Welcome to the 111 Club, Detective. Feels like I've had half the LAPD in here today already.
The hostess. Hostess at 111 Club. Now, I'm extremely suspicious of her right away, because how did she not get hit too? Maybe she stepped out or something like that. If she's the hostess of the club, why was she not in here when the shooting happened?
This how you usually solve a crime?
She doesn't seem to care too much that her coworkers and her boss is dead too.
Any idea who did the shooting?
No idea. It was my day off. If I had been here, honey, I'd be full of holes just like the others.
It was my day off. Yeah, this is exactly what I said right at the start, that why was she not here when the shooting happened? Why did she survive and everyone else died? Let's see, what is accused?
What's this all about? Is Eddie behind on the VIG?
Eddie paid cash, sugar. I have no idea what enemies he might have had.
I don't know if it would be this or doubt. Coolidge heist. If I could maybe bring this up, that's...
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls out. Sorry. My mistake.
Come on back and ask your question. I don't bite.
Any idea who did the shooting?
No idea. It was my day off. If I had been here, honey, I'd be full of holes just like the others.
What's this all about? Is Eddie behind on the VIG?
Eddie paid cash, sugar. I have no idea what enemies he might have had.
The heist.
I'm not your
come
problem
on.
here, detective.
That's BS. I'm sorry. I should have just chosen doubt on that one. I was just thinking about bringing up the heist because of the fact that he had all this stolen stuff that was in the back. And maybe I should have brought up the cigarettes. But there's no way that she would not have known about all that stuff in the back. She's the hostess. She would have definitely known about all that stuff that was there in the back. She would have known.
Ma'am, I'm Detective Phelps, Administrative Vice Squad.
Welcome to the 111 Club, Detective. Feels like I've had half the LAPD in here today already.
111 club shooting incident.
Any idea who did the shooting?
No idea. It was my day off. If I had been here, honey, I'd be full of holes just like the others.
Bad cop.
You want to level with me, miss, before we start taking an interest in you.
This place has been on the slide for years. Eddie turns up, buys the club, then we start getting visits from tough guys. Next thing you know, we have the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Are you getting the picture?
Knowledge of Gold.
Tell us about Eddie.
Eddie didn't know a thing about running a nightclub. He came into some money and waltzed in and bought the place. The previous owner thought all his Christmases had come at once.
Let me just try that one more time.
Come on back and ask your question. I don't bite.
Army surplus morphine, Army surplus weapons, Army surplus valors. Sound familiar?
We should get back to the station and check the details of what exactly was lifted from that ship.
Let's see here. I think.
Tell us about Eddie.
Eddie didn't know a thing about running a nightclub. He came into some money and waltzed in and bought the place. The previous owner thought all his Christmases had come at once.
I'm gonna go with good cop on this. Let's see.
Where do you think he got the money?
My guess was that he was selling the sort of quality product that you don't need to advertise.
Thank you for your help, man.
Eddie was in over his head, but he was a decent boss.
Okay.
Never the same, are they?
Locations, let's see. Let me talk to Royce, see what he says.
Advice?
Back to the station. We need to speak to someone on the robbery detail.
We're gonna take this car now. I guess I can't. Okay. So whatever your partner says where to go next, that's the correct order to go.
How well
in.
did you know the owner?
McGoldrick? Well enough. He was in my unit.
That's some cruel irony. You survive the war, then get blown to pieces back home.
It happens more than you'd think. Young guys trying to adjust to normal life, getting mixed up in the wrong crowds.
The kid had just bought a nightclub. I'd say he got mixed up in the right crowds.
Until someone filled him full of holes.
You don't come into that kind of money that quickly without pissing a few people off.
That is true.
You're driving right at them.
Yeah, I almost hit him. That was close.
What's going on?
That fucking rat Stoker has gone public about Brenda.
Who is Brenda?
Brenda is LA's most famous madam.
And everyone knows it?
Of course everyone knows. Brenda pays her way.
Are we cops or a collection agency?
Whores have been around since the Bible. Our job is to keep it off the street so Joe Citizen and his wife can stroll around unmolested.
Then we should change the law.
Are you out of your mind? Every politician in America is against prostitution, except when they're using them.
So where does Stoker come in?
He objects to the LAPD and the administration taking its cut.
Is everyone in on this?
Yeah, and that's the problem. From a little acorn does a large tree grow. He could bring the whole thing crashing down on us.
Aren't you supposed to be working the...
Sir, do you know which robbery detectives are working the Army surplus theft from the Coolidge?
Caldwell and McManus? I saw Caldwell in the squad room not long ago if you want to speak to him.
Thank you, sir. We'll do that.
This way.
Harry,
Yeah,
you got a minute?
Sure, Cole, anytime.
The unfortunate thing
been
is,
working the dock-
there was gonna be a burglary robbery division in this game, but it was cut, and I think that would have been such a good one. Burglary robbery, like investigating those, I think would have been a lot of fun. It's a shame that the desk got cut.
Robbery on the SS Coolidge?
Yeah, that's right.
So how do you see it?
Inside job. Either the guys working the wharves or some of the guys on the ship.
What else was taken apart from the morphine?
Case of BARs, case of Thompsons, crate of Valor smokes.
Homicide just recovered 3 BARs and a mountain of cigarettes at a shooting at the 111 Club.
No kidding. I better get over there.
Do you have a copy of the manifest? Yeah. Here it is.
So, how do we connect the docks robbery to the mess at the 111 Club?
Shanghai. A lot of American ships ended up staying in China for some time, right at the end of the war, because we were allies with China during World War II. We were allies with the nationalist government in China, Chiang Kai-shek. We kind of, I guess, helped the communists too, because they were fighting against the Japanese, but we really preferred the nationalists in China. Let me see here. We also sent advisors into China to help train the nationalist army to resist the Japanese. Kelso, I see the name right here. McGoldrick.
I want to make homicide. You know you made it if you can get that desk.
This is the crate we recovered.
The Thompsons we don't have with the BARs.
Here's our backroom arsenal from the 111 Club. 500,000 cigarettes loose on the streets of L.A. Enough to arm 3 companies. Some of these guys are from my old unit. They must have finally shipped home. Kelso, Sheldon, McGoldrick.
McGoldrick was on the boat?
Sure, we checked him out.
McGoldrick bought the 111 Club, Harry. His brains are all over the bar.
Looks like whoever stole the dope is getting muscled.
By whom?
Dragner or Cohen. They control the hop.
Thanks, Harry. Stay in touch on this.
Also, reporters get extremely annoying at crime scenes, even to this day. Hang on a second.
All these junkies seem to get a free pass to the Blue Room. How about we pay a visit?
Okay, Blue Room. Now, okay, and I'll talk about the reporters here in a moment. Here's the thing about this is,
So, half
what
your
the-
old lackeys were on that boat, the late Mr. Goldrick included.
They weren't my lackeys.
Subordinates then, whatever you want to call them.
There were a lot of people on that boat.
Maybe you're behind this whole thing, Phelps. Wouldn't that be a master stroke? Hey, cut me in early and we'll ride this one into the sunset.
Sounds like you've got the case all sewn up, Roy. We should call it a day and go home.
And miss out on the Blue Room? I couldn't do that to you.
So what I was saying about the reporters is reporters get extremely annoying even to this day. They will, you know, hang around crime scenes. They will harass people, harass witnesses, harass the police. That's why the police oftentimes push them back. They can really interfere with an investigation. And also, the police don't tell reporters everything, and the reporters get really mad about that, but there's a reason for that. The reason the police don't tell reporters everything about a crime scene is because there's a lot of false tips the police get, and a lot of these false tips, they come from people wanting reward money, so they try to, you know, create, you know, fake nonsense, basically just cash in on the reward money. And so basically, police will not give out specific information, so that when somebody comes forward with new information, they can check it and see what they haven't released to the public, and they'll know that that information is correct. Okay. Oh no, I hope I don't get a copyright claim for this. Please, please no. Please no.
Take a break, boys.
We would like them to stay, Miss Lichtman. We're making inquiries into the recent deaths of 4 musicians.
Since when have the police cared about dead black men?
Good point. We don't.
Oh man, come on.
What we care about is 2 tons of Army surplus morphine showing up on the street. If you care about working in this town, you better give me something on Biddleston and Bow, or their knucklehead buddies Tyree and Lamont.
And this is your idea of making inquiries under Sturmführer?
That's a,
I've told you 1,000 times about speaking that German gibberish at me, Elsa.
Roy! How about you get a drink while I see to this?
For people wondering what she said to him, Übensturmführer, I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but these are basically Nazi ranks. These are ranks that were in the Nazi military during World War II. I don't know what rank that is, Übensturmführer, but I know a lot of them were like different Führer ranks, and then there was just the Führer itself, which was basically Hitler, but there was like a lot of other, you know, smaller titles underneath that for different officers, different generals.
Will you sit down?
So this is exactly what I was talking about when I said that
Why
Roy was
antagonize him,
racist.
Elsa?
A few people
You know
actually
what-
told me that Roy wasn't racist. They just said he's just a corrupt cop. But no, Roy is very much racist too.
He's capable of.
Ask your questions, head officer. We have work to do.
Army surplus morphine. Okay, let's ask.
People are dying of overdoses. If you know anything about it, you need to tell me.
I can't help you.
A lot of cats are into the thing. There's nothing special about your boys.
Let me see what accuse is.
Hopheads appear to get a free pass at this club. You all know about the morphine.
And how do you expect to prove that?
Looks like I was mistaken.
Let me see here. Morphine overdose victims. Let's see this.
My partner mentioned a couple of names. You recognize them?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Let me see what accuse is.
I don't believe you. You knew these men.
And how would you like to prove that, detective?
Musicians admit one pass for the Blue Room Jazz Club. This.
You're out of your depth,
How-
here, detective, and you're asking the wrong questions of the...
How did I get that wrong? That should have been it. Army surplus morphine.
People are dying of overdoses. If you know anything about it, you need to tell me.
I can't help you.
A lot of cats are into the thing. There's nothing special about your boys.
You can do this the easy way with me, or I can call my partner back over. I can assure you he's a lot less sensitive.
You think your threats frighten me?
Black man don't supply nothing. You think there's a black man in this town holding on to 2 tons of morphine? He'd be dead in a minute. White man supplies, black man buys.
Morphine overdose victims.
My partner mentioned a couple of names. You recognize them?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The only way you're going to get rid of me is to give me an answer.
I knew Cornell. We worked together a few years ago. He loved the music, but the music didn't love him.
What does that mean?
It means that he just wasn't that good. He was a sad, lonely cat.
Boys, take 5 minutes, please. I need to have a private word with the officer. Why do you ask people to risk talking about a subject that could have them jailed?
Drugs are against the law, Elsa.
And you're so full of courage, you have never felt ashamed.
This is getting us nowhere.
Do you think you'll win your war against narcotics?
It's not my war. It's against the law. My job is to prosecute the laws of this city.
Do you think you can stop people from needing drugs, detective?
I'm asking the questions here.
Then why do you come to me with your stupid questions? You know who controls the drugs in this city.
It's not enough to just survive, Elsa. You have to try and make the world a better place.
Brave words, and very noble. But words are just words, Cole Phelps.
She's right. We need to pay a visit to the mixer.
Cohen? Do you know where to find him?
This time of day, you'll find him holding court at the Macambo.
He can wait. There's something I need to be sure of. Give me till tomorrow morning.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do, partner.
Yeah, a cop would never be that close to her. Like, you know, like, when you're following somebody, you're never gonna be that close.
Officer needs help, 103 MD.
Move in. Risk losing the trail.
Yeah, I remember this part, I do remember this. So basically, Cole is having an affair with Elsa. That's what's going on here.
LAPD, we're looking for Mayor Cohen. I believe he has lunch here.
There's not going to be any trouble, is there?
Which table?
Number 3, if you'll follow me.
Boy. LAPD.
Gentlemen,
We have some questions
Hi,
regarding...
Mickey. How's it hanging?
Fine. Just fine, Roy. I see you brought Igabiva along. Hope he's not going to put the shakes on me again.
Cole Phelps, Mickey Cohen.
Good afternoon.
He has manners. Aren't you a little green for this kid?
Meet Johnny Stompanato, Cole. He has the biggest schlong in Hollywood and the smallest gun. Or maybe that's the other way around. I can never quite remember.
You're a funny guy, Roy. Haven't I always said what a funny guy Roy is? And how much fun it would be to get together with him sometime?
Poor Johnny. He's the dark, sensitive type. He's a serviceman too, Cole. Johnny was at Okinawa.
You were in the crotch?
6th Marines.
The lieutenant who won the Silver Star up on Sugarloaf. I've heard of you.
Something like that.
All right, have we finished flirting? You got something to discuss, Roy? Or are you going to stand around beating the meat while my lunch gets cold?
We have some questions.
Do I need my lawyer?
Mayor Harris Cohen. Mickey Cohen, prominent organized crime boss. This guy knows how to talk to police, by the way. Finkelstein drug operation.
Your brother-in-law, Lenny Finkelstein, was selling stolen morphine. He had 1/3 of the shipment.
Old news, kid. I don't know anything about what Lenny was up to.
Is there anything here tying him directly to it? Gonna go bad cop.
So I'm supposed to believe that you don't know what happened to the rest of the shipment?
Lenny, God rest his soul, was a moron. He was family, though, and I haven't made a beef about that, so count yourself lucky, kid. The H is a filthy habit, and I don't condone it. The simple solution would be to have all the dope fiends put down.
So you don't know where he got the morphine?
Kid, ask a question you might get an answer to.
You know what he said? When he said to Cole, you're lucky I don't have beef about that. When he said that, basically what he was saying is he was saying in a nice way, you're lucky I didn't have you killed for that. That's basically what he was saying. 111 Club shooting incident.
We believe there's a link between a group of Marines and the morphine stolen from the SS Coolidge. One of those Marines was shot to death in a club last night.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Let me see what is lie. What is accused?
I think you're lying. I think the 111 Club was your men. I think you're trying to send a message.
I'll send you a message, kid. You better have some proof that that was one of mine, or else you better have health insurance, huh?
You notice how he's talking? You better have health insurance. Like the way he said that specifically, he's making threats without directly being able to be arrested for them. The way he's saying it, he keeps threatening you in a nice way. He chooses his words very carefully. Mickey Cohen was a real life mob boss, and he was a very intelligent man. He was not a good man. He was definitely a bad person, but he was a very intelligent man.
You're off the hook for now.
Let me look at evidence here. Is there anything that ties Mickey Cohen to it? There's no proof that Mickey Cohen was tied to that. I'm gonna go bad cop.
So you haven't heard anything about what happened at the 111 Club?
What can I say, kid? I'm shocked that in the land of opportunity, Uncle Sam's finest feel the need to resort to crime. It's a dangerous business. I can attest to that. I'd recommend they get out of the life. Quickly.
A few Negroes saying goodbye on the sidewalk will never make the papers, Mickey. But we had a judge in Pasadena say adios the other day. Prominent white people popping their clogs makes everyone nervous.
You know dope has never been my thing, Roy. It's always been for schmendricks like Jack D. and Jimmy Utley. But I'll ask around and I'll get back to you. Hey, you boys want some lunch? How about a drink?
We'll take a rain check on that. Come on, Cole, we're leaving.
We have to cut that dope. It looks bad with people dying.
We have to get the rest of it. There's no way of watering down the stuff in those little packages. You have to put the squeeze on those guys and get the rest of it.
They don't seem the type to frighten that easy.
We'll see.
Detectives, KGPL's going crazy. Shots fired at 1384 North Bronson. Some guy with an automatic spraying a Hollywood bus. They want every car. Go!
Attend bus.
I want to
stop shooting.
I say we bust. I got this gadget recording device at the place.
Guess we'll just take one of the LAPD cars. Maybe we can actually take this one. Okay, bus shooting. It's crazy there's 95 vehicles in this game. What the? Yeah, it's a BAR he's firing. He should have to reload by now. That thing only has 20 rounds in its magazine.
Stop that son of a bitch!
I need more firepower for this.
All units, officer down at 1384 North Bronson. Ambulance inbound. Repeating.
Well, I just fired a shot.
Officers still need help on Bronson. Approach with extreme caution.
What's...
You're clear, go!
What's the button to get... Remember, there's a button to get, guns out of the trunk.
I'm waiting, Roy. Can't make the shot from here.
Move, I got
The shooter has a machine gun. He's emptied 2 clips into the bus. As near as we can make out, he's on the roof of one of those buildings.
Reinforcements are on the way. Cease and desist.
You're clear, go!
This guy's seriously got a death wish if he, because there's really not... He's surrounded himself. He's trapped. This guy's screwed. He runs out of ammo. He's done.
LAPD, drop the gun now!
Here's the sniper's body.
It's one of the BARs.
It's the BAR magazine. What we got here?
Phone number and restaurant table.
Okay. Alvarro, Route 217. Mocambo, Table 3.
I know that guy. Felix Alvarro.
He's one of the guys from the ship?
His name was on the manifest.
Looks like McGoldrick wasn't the only one to get a message.
Hey, Alvarro.
Hey, Lieutenant.
He's just a plain detective now, Chico.
Who's the jughead?
This is my partner, Roy Earl. We just want to find out what happened.
What happened is that someone took a shot at my bus. And then cops turned up and start treating me like I'm some sort of Pachuco punk. My people have been in California for over 300 years.
Very fucking admirable, Felix.
Informed of Coolidge heist. Okay, former Marine and Hollywood Transit bus driver. And remember that Alvaro's name was in that, hit on Alvarro, yup.
You hear anything about the big heist on the Coolidge?
Yeah, I heard about it.
So what happened?
Not much. The cops came and interviewed me and all the other guys on the ship.
What's accused?
I don't believe you, Felix. I've got gunmen blasting away at innocent citizens. This is getting out of hand. Is there something you want to tell me?
I appreciate you calling me a liar, Detective. You want to prove that I was involved?
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls out.
Motive for shooting.
Who's shooting at you, Felix?
How the fuck do I know?
The dead guy on the roof works for Mickey Cohen. Why would Cohen want you dead?
Man, I don't know anything about Mickey Cohen or any of those gangsters.
Sniper's pocketbook.
Your name was in the sniper's notebook. Level with me, Felix.
Cohen thinks because we were on the boat, we have the morphine. Courtney's meeting those guys to sort it out.
Courtney Sheldon?
Yeah. You remember Sheldon, don't you, Cole?
Okay. Informed of Coolidge heist.
You hear anything about the big heist on the Coolidge?
Yeah, I heard about it.
So what happened?
Not much. The cops came and interviewed me and all the other guys on the ship.
Let's try bad cop.
I was down at the 111 Club this morning, waiting for the medical examiner to scrape Eddie McGoldrick's brains off the bar. You want to tell me anything about that?
I heard that Eddie came into some money. Too bad he didn't keep a low profile. It's a tough break to get through Okinawa and then have to buy it back home.
We'll be in touch, Felix.
You heard that Jack is in L.A.?
I saw his name on the manifest.
He's been here a couple of months. Sure glad to see you got over your wound, Lieutenant. I mean, Detective.
Pretty cool customer.
He's been under fire before.
You buying his story?
Not for a minute.
Oh, got a phone here.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on a Jack Kelso.
Just a second. Jack Kelso, apartment 4, 1408 North El Centro Avenue, Hollywood.
Thanks. Advice?
All your war buddies. How cozy. We need to go embrace Jack Kelso.
Okay, Kelso's apartment.
Jack was a company sergeant. He would never get involved in something like this.
We brace him and drag him downtown.
won't work. He's a tough customer.
Also, I will say, though, is that I don't know if that was Mickey Cohen's plan to do that shooting on the bus, but what I will say, though, is that there's only, you know, doing a shooting like that is extremely sloppy and stupid because it's going to get more attention on the case, especially, like, you know, some snipers shooting off, you know, tons of automatic fire from a bar towards a bus on a busy street in LA. That's going to get so much police attention. So either Mickey Cohen is an idiot, or two, he's trying to send a public message telling people, I did this and there's nothing you can do about it, basically trying to scare the rest of the people. You know, typically the Mafia is going to make somebody disappear and you're never going to hear from them again. The body will never be found. But like something like that, just like, you know, big shooting like that in a public street in Los Angeles. So it's either he's an idiot,
Jack.
or
This is Detective Roy Earl.
he's trying to send a message.
Cole.
We would like a word.
Would you like to come inside?
Actually, we'd prefer if you'd come downtown with us. Do you mind?
Do I have any choice?
No, you don't.
Are you going to tell me what this is all about?
It would be better for all of us if we discussed it at the station.
Bad move, Cole.
How have you been, Jack?
Cut the crap. You pick me up in front of my apartment like a common criminal and then expect small talk? Fuck you.
Yeah, it wasn't probably not a good idea to take him to the station. They probably should have just talked to him right there because you're gonna piss him off. Also, usually, police are gonna take somebody down to the station when they expect, and you don't have to even go with the police. Sometimes you might end up in an interrogation room even if you're not under arrest. They just might take you to the, they might ask you to come down to the station. You can walk out anytime when that happens. You could also ask for a lawyer to be present, but if you're not under arrest, you're not being detained, you can walk out, really anytime. And, the police, sometimes the police will use this to their advantage, where they will say, you know, can you, we'll discuss this at the station to see if it can make somebody get really scared of getting arrested, that they'll talk. They might use that as a tactic also, but sometimes it's not always the best to take them down to the station. A lot of those questions they probably could have asked right in front of the, right in front of his office, and he would have been in a less pissed off mood and been willing to cooperate more. Army surplus morphine, okay.
Do you know that there's a gang war going on in LA trying to recover that stolen morphine?
That has nothing to do with me.
Like his face is... like the faces sometimes, I gotta say, they're just funny. Ex-Marine McGoldrick. Let me see the second question.
Did you know that Eddie McGoldrick recently came into money and bought a nightclub?
No, I didn't know that.
Good cop. Let me see.
You got me here now, Cole. Ask your goddamn questions.
Let's see
so I can
here.
nail that son of a bitch.
Did you know that Eddie McGoldrick recently came into money and bought a nightclub?
No, I didn't know that.
Could be truth. Arms stolen from Coolidge.
You heard that a crate of BARs went missing?
No, I didn't.
I gotta say something. Kelso is probably the hardest person to interview in this game. Out of all the characters in the game, I would say Kelso, and then Monroe, a character later on, but Kelso is definitely very hard. He keeps a very straight face. Coolidge robbery.
What do you know about the Army surplus robbery from the Coolidge, Jack?
What I know is that on 3 separate occasions, you would have been dead if it weren't for me. I don't know anything about the robbery.
Yeah, this is tough. This is tough.
Do you know that there's a gang war going on in LA trying to recover that stolen morphine?
That has nothing to do with me.
Jack, you know about the morphine. You weren't involved, but you know who is.
You can't prove what I know and what I don't know, Cole. This is going nowhere.
Sorry. My mistake.
Bad cop, I'll try it.
I'm sure it would be gripping to hear more of your life story, boys, but the truth is, I don't give a fuck. You were on the boat, Kelso. What happened?
Do you really think a bunch of Marines could muscle in on the dope rackets in this town? Between the Vice Squad and the mob, I hear it's pretty sewn up.
You'd better watch your mouth.
What he's basically saying is the Vice is corrupt. That's what he was saying, and what he was saying wasn't necessarily false. Ex-Marine McGoldrick.
Did you know that Eddie McGoldrick recently came into money and bought a nightclub?
No, I didn't know that.
Try good cop. Got
Well,
it.
you didn't know that some mobsters blew his brains out last night.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I'm going on the right track. Arms stolen from Coolidge.
You heard that a crate of BARs went missing?
No, I didn't.
SS Coolidge robbery.
What do you know about the Army surplus robbery from the Coolidge, Jack?
What I know is that on 3 separate occasions, you would have been dead if it weren't for me. I don't know anything about the robbery.
What do you know about the Army surplus robbery from the Coolidge, Jack?
What I know is that on 3 separate occasions, you would have been dead if it weren't for me. I don't know anything about the robbery.
Bad cop, I'll try that.
People are dying because morphine intended to help servicemen is being used on the street. Now we have guys from our old unit being killed by mobsters. We can put 2 and 2 together, Jack.
Gratitude isn't a concept that has much effect on you, is it, Cole?
Answer the question, Jack. Let's get this over with.
I was interviewed when the robbery took place. I don't have anything further to add.
Arms stolen from Coolidge.
You heard that a crate of BARs went missing?
No, I didn't.
It's either good cop or bad cop. I'll try bad cop. Damn.
You wouldn't know why Eddie McGoldrick had 3 of them.
The goddamn fool.
Jack, we just want information.
Bullshit, Cole. Did you seriously believe that dragging me down here would get me to give up my own guys? You call yourself a Marine? Trying to make a name for yourself with this shitheel? Look at this chump with his $200 suit and $2,000 car.
The tough guy act is really impressive. I like you, Jack. I'd like to make you for this. I really would. I'm going to be working on it and keeping an eye on you. You can go now.
Shooting, Robert Steiner, 6780 West Sunset Boulevard. The victim is a Chris Majowski.
Another name from the manifest? How many more friends of yours are gonna get plugged today?
Roy seems to be enjoying this too. He's very sadistic.
Talk about tension. That was like being trapped in an elevator with a married couple who can't decide whether they love each other or hate each other.
We go back a long way.
You went too easy on him. Next time, you leave it to me. I know how to handle that smug son of a bitch.
You don't. Jack will never give up his own men.
Yep, that's true. Even if you get the questions right, he won't tell you the truth. I almost had Kelso right. I missed only one question.
They just walked up and shot the man. 2 of them officers, they went that way.
Go on, get after him.
I can't hit a target that isn't there, Phelps. Hit it. Clear this asshole off the road. Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires. Hit him, Cole. Spin him out. Step on it, huh? Just get me a little closer.
I think we got one of the tires, didn't we?
Getting close and steer him off the tar. I'll try for the tires. Keep your foot down.
Damn, okay.
It's no good. We need to get closer.
Another BAR. Mickey's meeting.
Cohen is meeting with Sheldon tonight.
Can I check this coat pocket, the right one? What's this?
An LAPD file. We have a traitor in our midst. All of the names on the list have a hit team assigned to them.
Somebody's leaking the names of the people on this list here.
We need to get to those guys fast, otherwise there'll be no case.
We have to look at damage limitation. We can't allow that strumpet Brenda Allen to bring down the whole administration.
We've got to put a lid on the press. Can't someone talk to Harry over at the Times?
It's too late. The Times would look ridiculous if we dropped the story now.
Who is this Stoker?
Stoker's a lily-white. Nothing that will fix this in the short term.
My law and order credentials are disappearing as we speak.
Can we get Brenda to leave town?
Yes, we can, but she won't go quietly. Brenda has extensive records.
Can she at least lay low?
That's already been taken care of.
Mayor? District Attorney?
Who is this guy? And what does he want, Horrell?
Name's Roy Earl, detective, administrative vice.
Aren't you one of the clowns that got us into this mess?
Oh, I think that the orders regarding Brenda come down, not up, Mayor. I have a human interest story. It involves a certain LAPD cop, a hero from the war, who has let his beautiful wife and kids down, who has betrayed America for a German junkie whore, who has abandoned his pledge to the LAPD and his commitment to the public we all serve. Could be all over the papers by tomorrow, and you would be off the hook.
So what do you want in return, Roy? Fingering a fellow officer.
This corruption is just disgusting. The mayor, the chief of police, it's just, and corruption was a massive problem back then. Mobsters controlled entire cities. They had like the mayors at their they had the mayors at their disposal.
They're taking out all the guys from the ship.
Why? How does that get them the dope?
They obviously don't know who has the morphine, and they're waiting for someone to crack.
All your war buddies. How cozy. We need to go embrace Jack Kelso.
Is offering you a chance to own a small piece of this great land for yourself. We're building sturdy, spacious houses.
It's a Chinese theater.
Square-foot palaces on full half-acre blocks. Perfect for families looking to make a new life in a burgeoning city. Plus, I guarantee that our prices will put a smile on your face.
Take the next right turn.
Call us now. Bradshaw 22.
Turn right here.
Elysian Fields, a quarter-acre slice of victory.
I still have the police station marked on my map. Oh, I gotta mute this. It's ridiculous that I get claimed on music from like the 1940s, but I can still get claimed on that music too. Move. Okay.
Take the next left.
I'm at a loss.
All your war buddies. How cozy. We need to go embrace Jack Kelso.
He's not telling me which place to go to next. Okay, I'm just gonna choose the next place on the list then. Oh, landmark, okay. Another hit.
Getting close and steer him off the tar. I can't take the shot from here, Cole. Hit him. Clear this asshole off the road.
Yeah, okay.
Step on it, huh? Just give me a little closer. Hit him, Cole. Spin him out. Let's see how fast he runs on bare rims.
Oh, crap. Yeah, most cars didn't have airbags back then. They would be dead.
LAPD, put your hands in the air.
Yeah, there's no way these guys are gonna get taken alive. These guys would rather take their chance of dying. They know they'd go down for murder. Post office.
just occurred, 3155 West 4th Street. Unit
Another landmark?
803
Wow, I'm finding a lot of landmarks today, right? Okay. Crap! Do not look before changing lanes? No, that is not on the police. This time you owe the police. Okay. Okay, backup has arrived.
Find some cover! Stay in cover! Here to help.
I was right to shoot through the glass. Okay, good.
Tell Courtney. Bad luck. It was worth a try. It was worth a try. God.
Beckett's confession.
Polar Bear Ice Company. You really did it. Wonder whether it was worth it.
Most people never get the chance to be rich. Wouldn't you risk it?
Where are the gangsters? Okay, let's see. We got here. Meeting with Cohen and Sheldon.
Looks like Sheldon is bringing his own fire team with him.
This probably would actually be enough to put Mickey Cohen away, because the fact that all of these notes, all of these hitmen that are found dead with notes on them that say, you know, meetings with Mickey Cohen, this probably would be enough to go after Cohen. But in that system in Los Angeles back then in the 1940s, that would not be enough evidence. The amount of corruption would protect him.
Majewski, Beckett.
Okay, forgot to turn the music up.
Goldrick, Driscoll, these are good guys. Why did they get wrapped up in this thing?
Not everyone has your unwavering restraint in the face of temptation, Cole.
I'm not hearing any more of the music, so I guess I found everything then. Okay. Meeting place.
This isn't looking good. I feel like the fat kid at the back of a race.
You sure it's Cohen making the hits?
All fingers point his way. Your buddies are in way over their heads. Being a Marine doesn't mean shit out here.
That, the Mafia isn't gonna care if somebody's a Marine. They might be a little bit more cautious, maybe, but they're not gonna care. Meeting place. And this is the same place he met in the newspaper, remember?
There, line them up. All right, let's kill these red bastards.
I think Mickey Cohen was one of those cars, by the way, that...
On the roof, Cole, nail him!
Clear me Stay in cover!
They're making a run for it after them.
Yeah, back then, I mean, I guess technically you would probably...
Get in cover, now!
Police are not able to shoot fleeing suspects in the back, but it's very different.
APB on every one of the sons of bitches on that hill.
KGPL to car 11K. Car 11 King, come in.
Car 11 King.
11K, go to Hollywood Station. Hey, Courtney Sheldon is at Hollywood Station requesting an interview with Detective Cole Phelps.
Well, I'll be damned.
That's not correct protocol, 11K. I'll take that as a roger.
Car 11 King en route.
So, it's... Police are not able today to shoot people in the back if they're running. The only time police would really be able to shoot somebody in the back is if they're armed and dangerous. And I think this type of situation would be justifiable. Even if the gangster's running away, the fact that they shot at the police, they're dangerous, I think the police probably would be justified in shooting them in the back in this type of situation. I gotta mute the music because I'm gonna get copyright claims again. Okay, on. Oh, no, not restart. Oh, that would have been bad. Okay.
Roy, in my office, if you please.
I'm working a major case. I'm not close, Cap. It's gonna have to wait.
Let Phelps do the interrogation.
But, Cap...
No buts. This is more important.
So Cole thinks that Roy's gonna get punished. That's why he was smirking.
You're in interview too, Phelps. There's a quack in there with him.
What gives?
Beats me. Word came down from the chief. Said it was okay.
Got this gadget whiz guy putting recording devices in the place.
Sheldon. Is this your attorney?
No, Detective. This is Dr. Harlan Fontaine. He came down here to help me out.
How do you do, sir?
You stole the morphine from the Coolridge.
You can't prove that.
Let's see if I can try. And what is your relationship to Sheldon, sir?
Tutor, mentor. Mr. Sheldon is a medical student of mine. He has a very bright future.
Oh, that's nice to know. Too bad all of your war buddies won't get to see your graduation.
Former Marine, medic listed on Coolridge passenger manifest. 6 Marines being targeted.
I would have asked Beckett or Majewski or Driscoll about their involvement, but That's difficult, considering they're all dead. That leaves you, Sheldon.
You can't blame their deaths on me, Phelps.
You're lying, Courtney. The other guys aren't smart enough to attempt something like this. You either give it up, or I go after Jack for it.
And how do you prove that, Cole?
Murdered Marine, tell Courtney bad luck. It was worth a try. I think this will probably be it. Beckett's confession, let's see.
Jack isn't scared of you, Phelps.
Ah, come on. That's I know you're supposed to use the confession on him on that part. You're supposed to use that. I guess it was for the other question, but he's like, you can't prove that I had any links to it. But then you can see why I chose that one, right? I mean, it was it had his, he confessed right there, tell Courtney it was worth a try, but that's pretty much proof right there. So it was his last statement. So I could have, I guess, used that, but I guess didn't want to. 6 Marines being targeted.
I would have asked Beckett or Majewski or Driscoll about their involvement, but that's difficult, considering they're all dead. That leaves you, Sheldon.
You can't blame their deaths on me, Phelps.
You're lying, Courtney. The other guys aren't smart enough to attempt something like this. You either give it up, or I go after Jack for it.
And how do you prove that, Cole?
We know about your showdown
yep.
with Cohen. We found notes on your guys.
Cohen is hitting our old dude. He believes we have the morphine. I told him that we don't have it. And that's the truth. Isn't it, Doc?
I believe Mr. Sheldon. I think he's telling the truth, Detective.
SS Coolidge robbery.
You were on the ship, Sheldon.
Yes, that's correct.
So you had opportunity.
But it doesn't mean that I was involved.
Beckett's confession. Yep.
So you don't mind that the mob executed McGoldrick, Driscoll, and Beckett to get to you?
I don't know why you're trying to pin this on me. Where's your proof?
Beckett's confession. I think this will be enough.
Beckett had a message for you before he died. Bad luck. It was worth a try.
I feel bad about Beckett, Phelps. He was a hard charger. Those guys deserve more. I don't blame them for taking their shot.
Have you finished, Detective?
I'm just getting started. You have an answer for everything, Courtney. Let's hope Jack does, because now I'm going after him. Is there anyone you're not prepared to sacrifice?
Jack is not in this. He's a good guy.
You or Jack, Courtney. I don't care who goes to jail. I just want the morphine off the street.
What are you offering, Cole?
Don't be ridiculous, son. This man is gambling.
What's your offer?
Doctor, good to see you.
I'm conducting an investigation.
Upstairs in my office now.
This man is about to confess.
As of now, you're suspended from duty, pending a fitness review.
What are you talking about?
You heard the man, Phelps. Upstairs and face the music like the hero you were. You certainly had us fooled, Detective. Phelps, you're one of my favorite sons. You've broken this old man's heart.
Sir, what is going on?
You're suspended, Phelps. Hand over your badge and gun.
Don't keep him waiting.
What is going on here?
Your wife's attorney has pictures of you and the German. compromising pictures.
She's pressing charges. You'll be formally charged with adultery. A criminal cannot serve as an LAPD officer, as I'm sure you're aware.
I don't understand.
Okay, so for people confused, back then it was actually illegal to have an affair. You could adultery was actually a crime back then. It was an actual crime. I don't know how long the punishment was for it, what it was, but I do know that it was a crime. So for people confused, you're being charged with adultery today. It's not, at least in most places. I know there's a lot of countries that still have charges for adultery, but in America, at least I don't know any states that really have charges for adultery. That's basically cheating on your spouse. That's basically it. He's going to get thrown out of the police for that. He's going to get suspended. And here's the other thing I'll say about this is while adultery itself is technically not a crime, at least in most places, it's technically not a crime to cheat on your spouse. If you are found to be cheating on your spouse, though, you will lose in divorce court. So in divorce court, you will lose. So in divorce court, they're going to be basically looking at who is to blame for the divorce. And if the wife cheated on the husband, she's going to lose. If the husband cheated on the wife, she's going to lose. So basically, divorce court looks at who is at fault for who's, causing the relationship basically to fall apart. So even though adultery itself is not a crime, it can be used against you in divorce court. So if one spouse proves, hey, my husband was cheating on me, then basically the court is going to side with that spouse and is going to, the husband who cheated is going to have to pay the most.
How could you do it, lad? Your wife, your children, consorting with the enemy and a dope fiend at that. You're lucky the war is over. You'd be taken out and shot.
The department doesn't need this kind of publicity, Phelps. Hand over the gun, keep your head down until your board hearing. I forbid you to make any comments to the press. What the hell were you thinking?
They really can't do that. They can't really forbid him from talking to the press. That's his choice. He can really do that if he wants to. He could get fired probably, but that's really not, they can't really do that. They cannot really force him to not talk to the press. But anyways, they're saying you can't talk to the press. Meanwhile, they're suspending him. Honestly, what Cole should have done is he should have had a backup plan where he should have had some evidence to prove that Garrett Mason was the Black Dahlia killer. That probably would have been the best to use in this situation, is use any kind of evidence, saying, I know who the Black Dahlia killer is. You're going to suspend me, I'm going to tell the press basically who did it. And I'm going to tell you covered it up. They probably have destroyed all the evidence by now. They've probably covered that up, but that might make them reconsider suspending him at that point. As for Cole cheating, I know people are going to ask me what I think of this, what I think of Cole cheating. I was generally surprised by this. First time that I played this, I really did not see this coming. I thought that Cole was just following her to get some information. I didn't think that he was having an affair. And here's the thing is, Cole does not seem like the type of person to have an affair, but that's the point. It's a lot of people that you don't expect having affairs actually end up having affairs. So it's like, cheaters aren't always obvious who cheaters are. But the thing about this is, I personally, in my opinion, I don't mind them doing the story where, like, Cole cheats on his wife, but this is where some LA Noire players love this part of the story, but some LA Noire players hate this part of the story. It's like a very mixed, reaction to this part of the story. Some people like it, some people hate it. People debate it to this day, even though it's been over a decade since LA Noire has come out. The thing is, though, is, in my personal opinion, if they were gonna make it where Cole, cheats on his wife, they should have had some kind of flashback scene, maybe explaining exactly why. Was the relationship toxic? How did this happen exactly? Why did Cole just decide to start cheating on his wife? Was it all the stress that he was dealing with as his job as a detective? Was his wife, nasty to him? Was there something else? Was it, did he just randomly get attracted to Elsa and he decided to cheat on his wife? Explaining it why. I'm not defending why Cole cheated on his wife, but I'm just saying is I wish they would have explained a little bit of the backstory more, why he did that exactly, because for somebody who's a very honest cop, it just seems out of nowhere that he was cheating on his wife. He was a terrible, officer when it came to being in the military, very arrogant, but when it came to being a police officer, he's a pretty honest guy and a pretty good cop. So it was, it just really made no sense that this kind of came out of nowhere. I wish they would have explained at least why he was cheating on his wife. I wish they would have explained it a little more. And honestly, Cole does deserve to lose his marriage after this. He does. He's a good cop generally, but he does deserve to lose his marriage after this.
Marie, listen, Marie, I need to explain.
Please leave. You're upsetting the girls.
Let me see them, Marie. They're my daughters.
Cole. You have done enough damage here. Do you want me to call the police?
For God's sake, Marie. Can't we at least talk?
What is there to talk about? Do you love her? Do you? What were you thinking? What about our children? Can you imagine what this has been like for them? Go away, Cole. My father has hired an attorney and you will be hearing from him.
I'd like to explain, Marie. I'd like to tell you what I've been going through.
What you've been going through. I have had reporters camped out on the front lawn all morning. I can't stand it, Cole.
Look at what Cole was doing. He was reaching for his gun. That's what he was doing, but he realized he didn't have it anymore. That's what he was trying to do there. But also, here's the thing is what Cole did, cheating on his wife, was a very scummy thing, but it's not, he didn't really do anything at his job. He didn't break any laws at his job. Well, technically adultery was a crime, but when it came to his job as a police officer, he didn't really break any laws. And also, he was a good cop, so basically, my argument here is Cole deserves to get divorced. He does deserve a divorce, but I don't think he deserves to get suspended. Because nothing in his police ability, even though he did a crappy thing, a scummy thing by cheating on his wife, it did not impact his ability at all to be a cop, and he's solved a lot of cases. He's a really good cop, so it's talent basically put to waste. And there's stuff like this in real life where there's people who are really scummy people, but they're really talented at a lot of other other things too. So basically, yeah, I think it would be a mistake to suspend him because he's a good cop. And also, the thing about this is a lot of the other police officers have done much worse than what he does. Like Roy, the corruption that Roy is involved, what Roy's doing is like 10 times worse, because Roy is actually, involved with these criminals. He is. Cole did a crappy thing by cheating on his wife, but a lot of these cops have done much worse things than Cole. And a lot of those cops, they brag about beating up their wives. They're racist. They brag about beating up their wives. They don't treat people with respect. Like you saw the way that this Roy talked to those black musicians at the bar. So a lot of these cops in the station are pretty awful people. But they get away with all that stuff. But then Cole gets charged with adultery and he gets thrown out here. So again, I just wish they would have explained the whole cheating story a little bit more. This is the one part of the game I do remember well. I found all clues. Okay. Despite mob wars and unsolved robbery, one story will dominate the newsprint. Yup. Demoted arson desk. That's what it says here. Demotion. Prepare for reassignment. So we're gonna be doing arson, which is the final chapter in the game. But yeah, that's what their goal was. That's what the goal of the mayor and the corrupt police chief. I don't know about Captain Donovan. I don't know how involved he was with the corruption. I know he was a really scummy cop too, but Roy was, so I don't know if he knew about the mayor's corruption. That part I don't know. But the mayor, the chief of police, they are basically throwing all of this on Cole to cover up basically what's going on with all the morphine and all that stuff. They're just throwing this directly on Cole and saying like, oh, we got this, big cop here who's involved in cheating and also is that he's having an affair with a German woman, and World War II had just ended, and so the media would basically say, oh, he's sleeping with the enemy. There probably would be headlines just like that. That's basically how the media would portray it. And also, the media is extremely stupid in this time, because Elsa is not a Nazi sympathizer, but they would describe her as being a Nazi sympathizer. Elsa was a political prisoner. She escaped Germany. She fled the Nazis, but because she's German, the media is going to be stupid and is going to, say that she was, she was a Nazi sympathizer, a Nazi supporter, when just, nonsense BS. And Elsa, fled with her friend. I forget the guy's name, but I know the guy that she fled with. It's speculated because she said that he was the kindest man who never was attracted to her. That's what she said. And it's speculated that Elsa's friend was gay. and he escaped from Germany because in Nazi Germany, you know, the penalty for being gay was actually death. He would actually be sent to a concentration camp. So the media, so Elsa and her friend ended up escaping, you know, Germany, and it's just that, you know, the media is just so stupid that they're not able to, you know, put that in the story. Is that instead they're gonna put that Elsa's a Nazi sympathizer because that's gonna, you know, grab headlines a lot more. So it's media was very scummy in this time period. Media is still very scummy today. But you know, back then it was like the fake news was just much worse than what it is today, even much worse than what it is today. But I guess that pretty much is it. Let me see, is there like a flashback? Let's see if there's a World War II flashback here. Is there one? Let me just see here. No, there isn't. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, do drop a like, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.